So there are two modes of thinking that allow you to perform at the highest levels possible in life. These two modes of thinking lead to the highest level of productivity humanly possible. These two modes of thinking allow you to operate in the zone of your peak performance. And these two modes of thinking allow you to get the most out of your brain's cognitive resources. So if you want to do high volume of high quality work, if you want to live a highly productive and meaningful life, if you want to get the most out of your day and your life, you have to operate in these two modes of thinking. In this video, I will explain these two modes of thinking as explained in the book, The Organized Mind by Dr. Daniel Levitin. Now, before we go into these two modes of thinking for extreme productivity, let me explain the third mode of thinking. This is the default mode of thinking that most people, 99% of people, operate in. This default mode of thinking leads to stress, it leads to failure, it leads to burnout, it leads to low quality work, it leads to low productivity, and leads to a lack of meaning and fulfillment in life. So what is this third mode of thinking? This third mode of thinking is what 99% of people are operating in 99% of time. So let's say you are working on something important. Now, at the first sign of hitting difficulty or boredom, you switch tasks, you switch to something else, or you start checking emails, or you start checking some stats, or you check social media, or you check news websites. While you're working on something important, you get this urge for novelty. What do? You check media, you check email, you check news, you check stocks, you do all of those things. Now, here is the insidious part about it all. You are doing it instinctively, as if you are addicted to this. Somehow you see your hands typing the name of your favorite website or clicking on that favorite app in your phone, or you just pull out your phone to check it for no good reason. You tell yourself, I'm taking a break, but that's not what you're really doing. You're instead polluting your brain, you're polluting your mind. You're subjecting it to even more useless information, more news, more social media, more email, in the hopes that it will all relax your brain. But what really happens is that you get a polluted brain, you get a distracted brain. So this is the third mode, the default mode, where you're constantly switching back and forth between some work and some distractions, some important stuff and some email, and then some important stuff and then social media and news and all that stuff. So it's a mishmash. It's constantly going back and forth between a lot of different things. You see, the third mode or the default mode is your monkey mind, which has not been tamed. It is the monkey mind going off in all the different directions. So what's the end result of operating in this third mode all day long? Well, it leads to an empty feeling. You feel stressed, you feel frazzled, you feel like you didn't really get much done. You feel like, where did my day really go? Your work output is of much lesser quality. You didn't really focus completely on anything important. And not only that, your mind is stuffed with all sorts of useless information that it is now chewing on. That information that has no real value in your life, and your mind is polluted. So now the question is, what should you do? How should you operate your brain? Well, you should operate your brain in the two modes of thinking that are defined for extreme productivity. These two modes of thinking are called the task positive mode and the task negative mode. Let me explain what these are. So the task positive mode is when you're completely focused on an important task that demands all of your cognitive resources. It's a very cognitively demanding task and you're giving your very best. You're fully focused. It is goal-directed behavior. You have a very clear goal in mind that you're working towards. You're working on something that is important to you and you're not allowing any interruptions. You are devoting all of your brain resources to that one thing. For example, when I'm planning this video, there are no distractions allowed. I'm just focused on planning this video, mind mapping this video. Now, this is what is also called deep work, as Dr. Cal Newport talks about in his book, Deep Work. I interviewed Cal on the 2000 Books podcast, and we talked in a lot of detail about how to do deep work, the different modes of deep work, how anyone can do deep work, and the obstacles to deep work, and how to get past them. A lot of great stuff on the podcast. So check out the podcast. The link should be in the description below, or you can just search for 2000 Books on your favorite podcast app, and you will find the podcast. All right, so we just talked about the task positive mode. Now let's talk about the other mode, the task negative mode. This is when you're not working on any specific task. This is when you don't do anything. You're allowing your mind to wander away. You're not in front of any screen. Maybe you're taking a walk outside. Maybe you're meditating. You're daydreaming. You are breathing deeply. You're listening to some music. You're looking outside the window. You can call this mode the daydreaming mode or the mind wandering mode. In this mode, you give your brain the space to relax, to not think about anything, the time to relax, the space to come up with new ideas. So this is not the time to check news, social media, random sites and all that stuff. Not at all. This is not when you take in any new information. You don't pollute your brain during task negative mode. This is actually when you get your best ideas. This is like being in the shower. When the conscious mind is not really taking in any new information, the conscious mind has settled down, there is no more external noise, and the ideas from your subconscious can be heard. This is when you solve your biggest problems, your biggest challenges. You come up with new, brilliant breakthrough ideas during your task negative mode, during the daydreaming mode, during the mind wandering mode. In the book Deep Work, Cal Newport talks about this idea as well, and he says, this is the period when you need to allow yourself to be bored. You shouldn't be looking for external stimuli to new stimuli. Instead, you need to let your mind wander away, because this is when your brain will come up with great ideas. You see, you have to stop seeking new stimulation. Otherwise, you will not come up with breakthrough ideas. You have to stop seeking all of that external information and let yourself come up with new ideas, come up with breakthroughs. So that is task negative mode, the daydreaming mode, the mind wandering mode. Now, if you want to learn more about these two modes of thinking, you should listen to my podcast interview with Dr. Daniel Levitin, where we talk about this book, The Organized Mind. In the podcast, we talk about how to build an external brain, the two modes of thinking, why we procrastinate and what to do about it, and a lot of other great ideas. The link for the podcast should be in the description below, or you can just search for 2000 Books on your favorite podcast app, and you will find the 2000 Books podcast right there. Okay, so now let me show you how to get into high performance task positive mode and task negative mode. I'm going to give you a step-by-step formula here, so make sure to take some notes. The first step is to identify the specific task you want to accomplish. The second step is to set a countdown timer called the Pomodoro countdown timer for 25 minutes. The third step is to work on this task exclusively till the 25-minute countdown timer, also called the Pomodoro timer, goes off. You see, during this period, you're not allowed to do anything else. You're not allowed any other distractions. You have to turn off all notifications on your phone, your computer. You have to put your device in do not disturb mode or airplane mode. You have to just focus on this task at hand. Step 4 is when you take a 5-minute break. After you're done working on something exclusively for 25 minutes, you take a 5-minute break. This is your task negative mode. This is when you allow yourself to daydream, to let your mind wander, to walk around, to breathe a little bit, to drink some water, maybe eat some light snack. You're not allowed to look at your screen, to check your social media and news and text messages and all that stuff. That's not what this mode is for. And step 5 is to repeat the above 4 steps till you are exhausted, till you are tired. And then take a longer task negative mode break, usually 15 minutes long, and then start all over again. So there you have it, your simple blueprint for extreme productivity every single day. Now, if you enjoyed learning about these productivity modes, you will definitely enjoy this productivity playlist I have created for you. The playlist has a lot of other great productivity ideas from the world's greatest productivity books. And make sure to subscribe to this channel, because on this channel, we have summarized some of the greatest books in the field of entrepreneurship, sales, marketing, management, leadership, strategy, self-help, productivity, happiness, motivation, self-confidence, self-esteem, success mindset, positive psychology, emotional intelligence, social skills, people skills, billionaire biographies, all the books that will help you succeed in business and in life. So make sure to like this video and hit the subscribe button below.